Hi, I'm Thomas Foss, lead designer on Neverwinter.
Thomas, what are you showing here new at PAX with Neverwinter?
Cool. So the interesting and fun thing we're showing at PAX now is Acquisitions Incorporated coming into the game. Something that we've been playing with for over a year and talking with the Penny Arcade guys, because if anyone that follows Acquisitions Inc., they know that their headquarters got burnt down in Waterdeep, and tying in with the whole Wizards of the Coast D&D thing with Waterdeep, we thought, well, we'll give them some tax incentives and business breaks to actually build a headquarters in Protector's Enclave, and that's what we've done. So with the module that we're releasing now and in the demo that we're showing here at PAX, it's actually a job fair where now that they've built the headquarters, they're actually looking for new interns, and you have to actually pick up a flyer and go through a job fair. And we created an entire campaign that starts at level 15, which is much lower than normal our campaigns, so it really progresses up with the player. And if you guys know Acquisitions Inc., they're really good at like bending the fourth wall. They don't break it, but they bend it really hard, right? And so this whole entire module is more about like players at the table playing D&D in our game. And so you actually start off with a job fair, and then the demo that we're showing is the orientation rite that you have to go through. And then it's set up on a series of modules that takes you through a campaign that culminates in a very classic Dungeons & Dragons trope, which I'm not going to tell you, it's a spoiler alert, but it's really cool.
So speaking of, what does having access to the Dungeons & Dragons license open up for your team creatively?
Well, we couldn't have done it without it, right? When I built the first demo, I'm a big D&D fan from way back. I've been playing since Chainmail and Blue Box days, and having that ability to actually do a demo. When my bosses came to me and said, we're going to do Dungeons & Dragons, I built the pitch for it 9 years ago. It was a super exciting thing. Working with Wizards of the Coast is fantastic. They're always helpful, always informative. I talk to them weekly. We're pitching ideas back and forth, and just having that wonderful world of Dungeons and Dragons and Faerun and being able to work off of their modules and books, it's like a dream come true. It's really fun, right? We get to play D&D. That's the neat thing about an MMO is you're playing D&D with your friends online, right?
What do you think it is about Dungeons & Dragons that have had it withstand the test of time all these years? I mean, it had its 30th anniversary or something, 35th anniversary.
Yeah, well, because it's about storytelling and about people being able to tell their own stories. So it gives them a framework with it's just all about the loot. No, seriously. It's
the experience to make it for the chicken.
Exactly. No, it really is about telling your own stories. Like, back in grade school when I was playing with my friends, it's just getting together and telling stories, and it gives you a place to actually feel safe and free to do that, and to be really, really just creative in one way or the other. And depending on your mood, the story can change, right? It could be a good day mood, a bad day mood, and that roll of the dice can change everything.
What are some of the challenges for making an MMO in 2018 and a free-to-play MMO on top of that?
Well, the challenges are always trying to be, at bar or with quality and look and feel. There's a lot of really fancy, expensive games out there, right? But you also need to make it engaging for the players. And one of the things that we've been doing over the last 2 years, and as our players know, is really raising the quality bar in terms of art, in terms of the effects, animations. All those things have been, quality's been the watchword, and we've really brought that up, as you can see now that we're on console as well. The other big thing is just being able to provide good challenges for players all the way across, and being able to give them enough content and things that they want to do, and repeatability. And since we've just celebrated our 5th year in Neverwinter, there's plenty of content for players to do.
How do advances in technology, like NVIDIA just announced their 280 Ti, and the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, what does that open up for you as a designer creatively? If anything.
Yeah, not a lot, because I'm just concentrating on the consoles that we have now, but we're always looking to that, right? It gives us better innovations for lighting and things like, lighting, quality, memory, faster game speed. There's all those kind of things. Our MMO isn't an esports game, so I don't need that first-person shooter kind of stuff. But it's always great to know that the companies are also supporting you, backfilling, right, and you can catching up on that.
All right, so do you guys take advantage of the PS4, of the Xbox One X hardware at all, with your game?
I'm sure I can't tell you at this time.
Are you looking into it?
Possibly.
Maybe? How cryptic?
Well, we're Cryptic Studios.
Roll an intelligence save. DC 10.
Natural 20, baby.
So talk about some of what it's like going here at PAX, seeing people play your game for the first time.
It's totally exciting. First of all, we're getting a great combination here of PAX fans that are Neverwinter fans, or Dungeons and Dragons fans, or Acquisitions Inc. fans, right? Plus, we're getting a lot of people here that honestly are just coming to play to get the pins, and then we get to expose the game to them, and they're just laughing and totally excited about what we're seeing. So I love that opportunity to share the game with all of them, and hearing their stories. Again, Dungeons and Dragons is about story, right? So it's really cool. I was just before the interview talking to a group of 4 people that are in a guild that are telling me their story about their guild and what they're doing with it, and the things that they're doing and enjoying with our latest release, which is the Curse of Strahd. So it's all Castle Ravenloft, very classic D&D.
From a designer standpoint, what's the greatest challenge in making an MMO feel unique and like grounded? Because I mean, some MMOs can feel kind of floaty, or like example, one of the biggest ones right now is just an invisible circle with invisible RNG happening in the background. But yours is more action oriented. But what's some of the challenges about that, making it that way?
The action-oriented actually gives you a better chance for players to interact in a way that they want to with their characters, right? So there's much more engaging. So that's actually a plus for us. But there's definitely those times, like I never wanted to have that MMO experience where people are like lining up, waiting for the chest to open or the spawn to open. One of the things that we've just done recently, and you know, it's always a learning process, right? When we did Chult and Chosen Star, we actually had these monster hunts where you'd actually go bait it and have hunt, and that actually started getting to that point where like they would spawn and there'd be players waiting to do it, and they could feel it. So we realized that the hunts was a great thing, players loved it, but that moment wasn't working. So for Curse of Strahd, what we did was we actually made the hunts instantiated. So you can still bring your group, you can still hunt, but it's your hunt. And that made it 110% better, right? So this is, again, there's always a learning process, and we get a lot of feedback from our fans and the players, and we react to that. We really appreciate that and react to that. So it's their feedback that's actually made this thing better, and now their feedback is they love it and they want more. So thanks, fans.
This is a curious question. So back in the day, EverQuest 2 was experimenting with facial recognition software, with webcams and voice modulation, so people could talk to each other and see their character move, how their face moved. Have your team like looked at that at all?
No.
Too busy making a game to fix on that.
So, and you know, I can either make 10 new monsters, or I can actually maybe look into that each module, right? So I'd rather have the players have a lot more cool monsters and bosses to fight, or cool loot, or cool armor. It's, you know, when you only have our dev team's only 45 people, right?
That's actually really small for an MMO.
Exactly, compared to other things. But I've got a really strong team, and they know their stuff, and they're really excited about all the stuff that we work on. But it is a give and take on what we're going to be able to do for each module, right? And we want to be able to update the events and add new rewards, add new events which are upcoming. It's
basically technology focused or gameplay focused. Pick one. I can't do both.
Right, and you're right on. You're right on the money. But also it's the idea that like each module, since I've come back, we've been focusing on quality and fixes of things too. So that like, you know, 20% of my team, each module is working for fixing player powers, or fixing effects, or fixing frame rate, or adding new kits to the game so we have new dungeons or new monsters, right? So it's always that give or take moving forward. So you gotta call your shots on things, and the face recognition thing's not going to be one of them, unfortunately.
My other question is, as a designer, what do you feel VR could open for you creatively if you had the time and budget to experiment with it?
We've only got one mimic in the game. We should have 50.
So when does Heart of Fire come out?
So Heart of Fire comes out, gonna quote me on this, I think it's November 6th.